Hey, Flooring Pros. All right, so I'm going to show you some strategies around money. This is conversation is going to be is inspired by some conversations I've had with people that are, struggling. They're going through some money problems. It's been tough couple of months for some people, and regardless of how well your business is doing, you always run across a bad month or two. You are here and there, certainly coming out of a bad economy. Hopefully, with all the tariff talks, that doesn't hurt things more, that we're able to overcome that and things get going. I really believe our economy is going to absolutely take off. Might be a little painful before, but regardless of that, here's some things that you should know and work on when it comes to handling your business and handling cash flow and money. So one of the things that we don't talk about often enough, let me make sure I'm sharing the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, so one of the things that we don't, I'm going to do this little word presentation because the whole clipboard on Zoom never did figure out how that thing works. But here's 5 money management strategies for your flooring business, and really important things for you guys to learn and know. If you aren't doing these things, good things for you to start doing. So this is just a side note, but don't listen to your bookkeeper. Don't, I mean, bookkeepers can give you advice about money. They can tell you what the books are, but if it were up to all bookkeepers, we would all just shut down our business and go get a job somewhere. Bookkeepers never see where you're making money, and they are the biggest buzzkill that there is when it comes to business. No bookkeeper ever looks at it, man, you're doing fantastic, good job, keep it up. Most of them say, I don't know how you're making money. So you're not looking for them for inspiration or advice. You're looking them to straighten out the books so you can pay the bills and you know where you're at money wise. I like to use an accrual system uh, versus cash, and I'll tell you why. Because cash shows you what money's coming in, but it never really tells you where you're at. It can guide you in some ways, but it really doesn't guide you in marketing and sales, which is the two most crucial things you need to grow your flooring business. Some of you might say it's a good installer. Well, you're not going to have to worry about a good installer unless you have customers. And the only way to get the customers is through marketing and sales. Okay. It's not even being great at what you do. You got to still do some marketing and sales to get good customers. And those of you that have been doing it for a long time might say, well, we get nothing but referral and repeat business. It wasn't always that way for you either. You had to do some marketing. You had to build up those accounts and get those customers, even if it was through referrals from other people. So there's always amount of marketing and sales that you're going to have to learn and know. So you want to use an accrual cash versus cash. Accrual tells you like what you sold this month. So it's a good measurement of where you're at and what you need, where you're going. I'm going to show you. So first thing, number one. So the first thing is calculate what your break even is. So in order to do that, we need to know all of our expenses. So rent, advertising, expenses not related to the job. So that could be a warehouse manager or office manager or bookkeeper. So anybody that's like on a salary, that could be your own salary, will figure into this equation. So in order to calculate it, you got to figure out what all those costs are. Let me throw in some costs here just to give you an idea. So let's say your rent is $7,000 a month. You're spending 5,000 a month on advertising. We have office expenses and things like that that total up to about, well, utilities, all of that. Let's say that totals $3,000 a month. And the warehouse manager, I'm not going to worry about that position. Office manager, bookkeeper, you have let's say you got an employee, you're paying them 3,500 a month, and then your own salary is, let's say, maybe it's you and your wife, you and the spouse, you guys are combined, you're taking home 10 grand a month. Okay, so let's add all that up. 10,000. I should probably just do it by sight, right? 3,500, 3 grand, and 5,000 and 7,000. So let's say my total expenses add up to $28,000, $28,500. So what we'll do is multiply by 4. Equals $114,000 per month is your break even. So that means you have to sell at least $114,000 a month in order to break even. Now, what that doesn't include is what you're paying commission salespeople and what you're paying for the materials and what you're paying the installers. So, and how we come up with this figure is this is really based on you getting 40% profit margin. Now you got to get it, command at least a 40% profit margin to make this all work. Speaking about make sure it works, I want to make sure I'm recording. Yep, I'm recording. All right, so you got to make sure you're at least commanding a 40% profit margin to make sure that this works. And how that works out is if the job is 40%, about 10% is going to go to commission. That leaves you 30% left over. I put 5% in as a floater, thinking that we got 25% is what you'll apply towards your expenses. So those expenses add up to 28,500, which means you need 114,000 in order just to break even. And so that's taking out of that 114, you're going to have the installer wages, the salesperson's commission, and the materials are going to come out of that 114, leaving you with 28,500 to pay your monthly expenses. It's good to know that, because one of the things is once you surpass your break even number, then you could possibly in a month give a little bit better discount, because your profitability really goes up exponentially after you get past your break even number. So that's an important number to know, and it can really help you and guide you along the way. All right, number 2, you need to track your weekly sales. So you need to track your sales, period. So you need weekly. Let's do it this way. We need to know where you at year to date and where you're at monthly. So every week you need to be looking at your sales and figuring out where you're at year to date. So if it's right now it's March 16th. So where are we at for the month of March in 2025? And then are we reaching our goals? What are our goals? And then where are we at for the month? I like to look at it too. How does that compare to last year, the same time? How does February compare to last year's February? How did January compare? Where are we at? Are we on track to have an increase in sales? Are we behind? This is so crucial to the whole game, because you have to keep score of the game in order to improve. And it really helps your employees. It helps get them more engaged and more involved, because they're interested in the numbers too. If you guys don't ever share these numbers, then what happens is you're just working day to day, job to job. Either money's in the account or money's not in the account. You're stressed out. There's nothing really guiding you, and there's nothing to give you enthusiasm or to help you celebrate wins. So it's just a constant struggle in the business. It's really no fun unless you keep score of the game. So this is crucial to running a good, successful business. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe down below, hit like on the video, share it with a friend. Really helps me out in the channel. And when you subscribe to it, then you'll get a lot of other videos like this will show up in your feed and try to make really good, useful content that you guys can use. All right, another great way to manage your cash flow is pay your commission, your sales commission, twice a month. This is huge for cash flow. So I like to pay on the 7th and the 22nd. Now, if you pay every other week, you're going to end up paying 3 times some months. That puts a lot of stress on you and your cash flow. The way I do it is I pay the commission, and if you're paying a salary plus commission, you can wrap the salary into this as well. So the way I like to do it is on the 7th, because it lets me know all the sales that were done the previous month. So I can measure it all 1 month at a time. Whatever I'm paying them on the 7th, I will owe them on the 22nd. So if I owe them $5,000 for the month, 2,500 on the 7th, 2,500 on the 22nd. And what's really good about this is that you know what's going to come out of the account. So you can prepare for it ahead of time, and it's not a surprise. It's also really good because it gives you like 7 days to make sure that you have enough money for payroll. And then again, on the 22nd, you have time, you know exactly how much money you need for payroll. So that method has worked fantastic for me. One of the best cash saving, cash management things I did for my business. Now, I also pay installers on the following Friday after they complete. You're going to pay them on the following Friday after they complete the job. So anything they completed by Saturday, I'll pay them next Friday for, and that gives us time to make sure the job done's right, collect the balance. And if you collect that balance the same day with a credit card, it's going to take a couple days before it clears your bank account. So it really is important for your cash flow to stay ahead of the game, and you're going to make the installers wait a little bit. Once you get into these processes and systems, everybody goes along with it. And we never had a salesperson that complained about the way that we were paying after all this was implemented. Never had an installer complain about having to wait until the following Friday to get paid on the job. So this system works out really, really well. All right. Number 4. Where are we at? Make sure to have some capital. Sorry, my fingers are off on the keyboard. Have some capital to work with. Trying to run on cash alone is very stressful. You need capital to grow your business. I was following when we were starting our business and just throughout the years, learning more about marketing, sales, and following a lot of these gurus and these companies, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, some of the biggest corporations. These guys operated in the red for years. So why is it these mega corporations with millions, billions of dollars can operate in the red, but you and I with our small family-owned business are supposed to be profitable out of the gate and run based on the cash that we make and always stay ahead of the game? It's really hard. It's not easy to do. You need to be able to invest money. You need to get into a showroom. You need to get supplies. You need to get materials. Maybe you need some inventory. You need to pay your people, regardless of if you don't have sales or not. You need to pay for marketing. There's a lot of expenses that go into this. And for you to constantly have the money to pay for it, it's not easy. When I started Carpets of Arizona, I know that we wanted to grow it to be a $5 million a year business. And I figured it was going to take about $500,000 worth of debt to get there. Now, I didn't go out and get a loan for $500,000, but I gave myself permission to get money over time as we're growing the business. And some of the loans I got in the beginning really sucked. They're horrible loans. I mean, there are these horrible lenders that are 20, 24, 35, 40% interest. They're just absolute crooks. And they will take advantage of you. And sometimes it's, I mean, your back's against the wall. That's the only thing you can do, or close up shop and go home. But if you have the credit, you have the capital, you're able to get a mortgage out of the home, you're able to get a loan somehow, maybe even get a loan from a family member. If you're able to get capital somehow, then get some capital to operate your business on. One of the best loans I got was a merchant service loan. So every time we ran the credit card for a customer's credit card, they would take out 6%. It was really easy to manage that loan. And it was so easy to do. It was a horrible loan too. I mean, the price was just astronomical. It was terrible. I should have never done it. But after having gone through it, I thought, well, this is cool. I got a credit line, just a $20,000 credit line from the bank. But I took that 20,000 and I dump it into my account. And every time I got paid from a customer, I would pay 5, 6, 10% towards that credit line. I paid it off a month. Every month I paid that thing off, and I was able to dip in and get more money when I needed it. So, finding out ways to manage your cash flow, it's not easy to do. Don't worry, you're not alone. A lot of people are going through it. A lot of people stress out about this, but it doesn't do you any good to be stressed out in life and in your business and in your company and trying to run based on cash alone. I know some do it. They brag about being with Dave Ramsey and how they run their books. I got news for you. Dave Ramsey filed bankruptcy. So did one of my favorites, Walt Disney. Guy filed bankruptcy like 11 times and created Disney World. I mean, can you imagine if he gave up after filing bankruptcy? Oh, I'm a failure. I can't do this. I'm just going to go get a job somewhere. Man, if that was his attitude, we would have never had Disney World, So if don't give up, and bankruptcy is a horrible thing to go through. Try to avoid that at all costs. But one of the things, if you're having trouble with money, um, so and this is actually number 5. So if here's some options for you. So you can look at and consider a bankruptcy. I don't like that option, but there's a way to do it, especially if this is one reason I like having a company name with an LLC and then doing business as, because you can keep your company, you can close up the LLC and file a personal bankruptcy, but keep your company alive and keep it going. So that's why you should operate under a DBA. Now, consider it's a bad option. A better option is to ask the supplier for a note. This is not something that they offered. I have one supplier offered it, another one turned me down. But at one time when I was falling behind, and it was before I was falling behind, you got to call these guys and talk to them ahead of time. So when you see the writing on the wall, you're falling behind, do not ignore their phone calls. That'll make matters so much worse for you. So, but reach out to them, say, hey, don't hold any of my stuff. I'm falling behind. I almost did this every year, right around Christmas and New Year's, because we were slow for 3 or 4 weeks in between that time. So I knew we were going to be slow at paying. I always made that phone call to them, and they never held my orders because I was really good at communicating with them. But tell them that, hey, things are slow, things are stressful. I'm a little bit behind. Can you work with me? And then ask them if they'll create a note for you. Let's say you owe the supplier $35,000, $40,000, maybe you owe them $80,000. Hey, would you do me a favor? Wipe that off the books. Let me start over. Just give me a separate loan or a note for $40,000. Let me make payments to you every other week, once a month, whatever you work out. And I worked out a deal where it was every week or every other week. And it was really difficult at one time. And I asked them, hey, can we go monthly on this? And I cleared it all up within like 4 to 6 months. So we cleared it up fast, but it really helped me out that the supplier helped me out, and they want to help you succeed. They want to be a partner to you. So not all of them will do it, but you can ask. Nothing hurts you to ask them to help you out. Okay, you can. There's a really good resource called Take Charge America. It's a nonprofit organization, and they can help you clear up debt. There's a lot of snakes out there that want to give you loans or will. There's companies that I'm seeing now. What they want you to do is stop paying your bills, and then they'll give you the loan, or they won't give you a loan. What they're going to do is negotiate with your credit card companies to cut it in half, and then they'll take payments from you and they'll help you pay it off, and you'll have to apply like 70%. So it's going to save you money, but they make their money by taking a cut of the action as you're trying to pay off Visa, MasterCard, whoever it is you owe. So Take Charge of America is a nonprofit organization. They're a lot more honest and a lot more ethical. Check them out. They can help you navigate some credit problems. As to skip rent or car payments, creditors will work with you, or even credit cards. All these guys, all these companies, they will work with you. If you call them up, hey man, I'm going through a tough time. We just got scammed by somebody, or something happened, or somebody had bad health for a while. There's all these companies, your house, maybe not rent, but your house payment, they will help you, put it on the ass end of the loan. So you might be able to skip 2, 3, 4 months of house payments. I know if you got an SBA loan, you can usually skip that by calling them and asking permission first. Don't just do it. Call and ask permission. But it's not as dire as you might think. You got to navigate, and don't think that you're some sort of loser or something that you're having to go through this. All of us do. It's not easy. Everybody struggles in business, especially in the beginning. So, and even if it's not in the beginning, we have times that we struggle in business. So there's always going to be something going on that makes it a little difficult. All right, here's a little bonus. And again, I hope you guys subscribe to that channel, like the video, and then take advantage of the bonus here, which is to invest in a coach, consultant. And, somebody like me, I'm going to save you a lot of money. We're going to do better marketing. You will waste so much money on marketing that doesn't work. So when you get guidance from somebody like me, I will show you exactly how much to spend on marketing, where to put that money, how to shoot and create content. We'll do things that will work for you, and I'll keep you away from things that I know cost you a lot of money and don't work for you. Because I've been doing this for 30 years and ran my own businesses for 30 years. And I know what works and what doesn't work. And when it comes to marketing, there's a lot of things that you can do on your own versus just paying an advertising company a lot of money. Because there is nobody uniquely really good at advertising. So I wouldn't trust any marketing company to just give them the money and trust them that they're going to do a good job. They will not do a good job unless you're involved. And that goes across the board with anybody I've ever hired. I've gotten excellent results from some companies, but that was because I was involved with what they were doing as well. So I didn't just leave it to chance that they're going to do a good job. You need to hit margins. Okay, selling at the right price. And some of that is overcoming the fear of raising your prices, but knowing how to bundle the costs together and improve your pricing so you can get more sales at a higher price. Lowering those prices and margins never works. If you get more business, then you know what ends up going up? This number right here. Your costs, none of your expenses will rise, but your cost to get to your break even, that's going to go up. The minute you start lowering your prices, you're going to have to do a lot more work just to get to your break even. And you don't want to do that. That is never the solution. It never works. In fact, if business gets slow, lowering your prices doesn't help. More marketing helps. And if you can't afford more marketing, there's a lot of free stuff we can do. So there's no reason for you to feel like you got to spend money to make money. You need to make the effort in it, shoot the damn video and do a lot of other stuff that will help you navigate. And then you need a kick-ass sales presentation. I mean, it just never fails. When I talk to you guys, there's usually, I can't spell, presentation. That's still wrong. Presentation. All right. You guys do incredible things. I find out something you do that's really unique, but it doesn't come across in your sales presentation. And a lot of people will say, oh, I told the customer about that. Well, telling a customer doesn't work. They don't remember what every salesperson they talk to said. So at the end of the day, they're judging the price. And if somebody comes up with a good price that's likable, and believe me, your competition who's cheaper than you say, well, I got years of experience. I'm really good at what I do. They don't know or give a shit, and they don't think that the guy that gave them a lower price is a twerp that's not going to do a good job. So they just don't assume because you're there that you've got all this experience and you're going to do a better job that the other guy is also not going to do a good job. What's the reason to believe that? I would never leave it to that chance that they're going to believe the other guy. I don't have to talk bad about them. I just got to show them how good of a job we're going to do and show them in a way that my competition can't compete with, can't keep up with. So let's get together and work together. It's a 90K and 90-day program. All right, we'll get you at least 90K in 90 days. This is a 4-month program for $5,000. And would you pay $5,000 to make $90,000 over the next 4 months? And that's 90,000 extra. So whatever you're doing now, this is 90,000 extra in the next 90 days. It's actually more like 120 days because the first month is just for us to implement everything. And if you're really aggressive, you're really excited about getting something done, join the $1 Million Maker program. I really believe, and I've got evidence, I've got one client that's up $194,000 in January and February of this year. We've been working together for about 5 or 6 months now. So in this program, you're in it until you do $1 million more, a 1 year or $1 million more program. And I want to make sure that you do $1 million more than last year. So would you pay $9,000 to do $1 million more in the next year? And we got payment programs for you guys worked out. So let us know if you want to get on board and really profit now.